Well, they're unambiguous depictions of known types of dinosaurs. So unambiguous that the evolutionist knee-jerk reaction was, well, it's a big fraud. Somebody's done a fraud here. Those ancient Incas could have known what dinosaurs look like. According to the Bible, they could have, because they survived the flood, and they perhaps only recently disappeared and went extinct. Well, you got to think about this. If it's a fraud, you got to have a motive, you know. If you're going to do a fraud, rule of thumb is you make one or two only. You don't make them by the thousands to devalue them and then stick them in Inca tombs that are hard to find. You know, how do you cash in on a fraud like that? Who would go through all that time and effort, and what are they getting out of it? What's the motive? And how in the world did the Spanish accurately report it centuries before dinosaurs were rediscovered in the fossil record? Doesn't really sound like a fraud. Well, they have these on display in the city of Ica, Peru, at the Cabrera Museum. In fact, the History Channel went down there, and they showed on an episode called UFOs in History. They showed a stone like this in the Cabrera Museum. And in the corner, it had what looked to me, on the stone they were looking at, it was covered with dinosaurs like this, the one they were looking at, but in the corner it had what looked to me like a broad-rimmed hat. That's what I thought it was. They said, oh my goodness, here it is, spitting image of a flying saucer. Ancient Incas 15 centuries ago saw flying saucers. Now, they did not say one word about the rest of the stone that was covered with dinosaurs. Well, here, we have an ancient Inca riding elephant style on a creature with 3 horns, an armored plate, and 4 legs. Well, we all know what that is. It's a triceratopian dinosaur. Now, it also shows us smoking went back quite a few centuries. But according to the Bible, who were the first non-smokers in history? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay. Didn't even have the smell of smoke on them. What's really fascinating here is that this artifact, recovered from a tomb 15 centuries old, has got these dermal frills on the back of dinosaurs. We did not know they had that anatomical feature until the 1990s. Not all of them apparently were domesticatable, though. This guy's kind of having a bad day. He's about to get his leg bit off here. So he figures he better stab the dinosaur in the head with his trusty knife. But his friend has come up behind him. There's his eye and his mouth. He's about to get bit in the back of the neck, and that'll ruin your whole day and your whole life. So this may be his epitaph. How did our dear brother buy the farm? Well, here's the story in this tomb of how he bought the farm. Now, they also might have warning signs back then. You know, when I drive down the freeway, there's signs, look out for deer, look out for elk. When I was up in Alaska, it was look out for moose and grizzly. Well, they may have had ones like this. Look over your shoulder, there might be an Allosaurus behind you. Don't want to get caught from behind. Even more significant are the finding of many baked clay figurines three-dimensionally depicting dinosaurs. These are extremely significant because baked clay can be dated by an entirely independent dating method from carbon-14. Carbon-14 is well known to give spurious dates even on artifacts of known antiquity, known date. However, thermoluminescent dating is based on the luminosity index, or energy trapped in the crystals in the clay. It's pumped in, so to speak, when they fire heat the clay, so you can tell how long it has been by how much energy is leaked out of the crystal over time from the time it was fire heated. Now, that seems to correlate pretty accurately on known dates of pottery in antiquity. So when this was found, the evolutionists said, great, we'll prove it's a modern forgery. We'll use our marvelous, modern, accurate thermoluminescent dating. And when they did, it turned out to be many centuries old. All of a sudden, they didn't want to talk about it anymore. Isn't it interesting? Well, we have many of these examples of baked clay figurines in Dr. Cabrera's museum. Many of them show men and dinosaurs interacting. Here, the Inca stabbing the dinosaur, but the dinosaur's getting his licks in as well. I guess we'll call that a draw. Here they're going after the babies. It's easier to get them when they're babies than when they get big and step on you, I guess. But you know, these people did not know it was politically incorrect to live with dinosaurs. They just portrayed life as they knew it, and these creatures were normal to them and are part of their normal culture as they depicted it. Now, here we have the local Inca veterinarian trying to nurse a sick dinosaur. He's got a bag here, perhaps of herbs or medicine of some kind. Now, he's not sick because his legs were broken. That happened in an earthquake. But we see this very domestic relationship that they had. Here again, we have them riding the triceratopian dinosaur. We see the dermal frills that we did not know about till the end of the 20th century. I think these people knew because they were eyewitnesses. Not just in Peru, but also in Mexico. In Mexico, they have found tens of thousands of baked clay figurines in El Toro Mountain outside of Acambro, Mexico.